Greetings out there in guitar land. This is your friendly neighborhood guitar player dash teacher, or whatever you want to call me here. Today we're going to try to tackle the LOA house. A small preface about this. I first heard this not too long after it came out, and I thought it was kind of a return to form for King. The LOA house, in particular, was one of the tunes that stuck out to me, simply because it had really great guitar solos. And I thought it was a great, driving, kind of a rock song. Lots of triplets all over the place. So without any further ado, let's get cracking. So the main theme begins thusly. Very simple: G, F sharp, D, C sharp, and you can, double up on that if you like. So, and then to E, which is open, followed by a B flat, just to kind of signify that things are about to get real. So, as we begin, G, F sharp, D, C sharp, and then we start the painkiller-esque triplets that will be the primary driving motive to the song. E, F, D, B, D, E. Those are the notes you're going to have to remember. Everything else is balanced off of a kind of a triplet-y open E. Now there's a couple of different ways of approaching this. You can begin this with an upstroke, so you'll be effectively doing an upstroke every time you cross the strings. Type of thing. Or you could start with a downstroke and keep the picking on the inside. Some may find it more difficult to keep the triplet timing that way. I don't particularly myself, but either way you choose is fine, as long as it sounds correct and the timing's right. So I'm going to start it with a downstroke myself. And for me, that's the way, I would probably tend to play it. So this is it. And that is a B flat and an A. So, which is harmonized up one, or up a major third, with just like that right there is D and C sharp. So harmony together. So I would choose one and do that if it's just you guitar wise, and if it's a live setting and just you guitar wise, might consider or having the bass player play one of the harmony parts. Just to still to give it the same kind of tonality, and that's that. As for me, I prefer playing the higher harmony. It gives it a nice diminished type of sound. So ignore that A. Choose your notes, or stop. And so for the verse riff, we find ourselves in B. And so on. So this is in minor, B minor, and everything that we're going to be playing pretty much from here on out is going to be just, if it's in minor here, it's, when we change keys, it's still minor, just moving the minor around. But this, B minor, and because of this note, it would be a natural 7, technically, I guess, harmonic minor. But so this, again, upstrokes or downstrokes. If you do the upstroke, you get the inflections right. If you start it with a downstroke, there's a chance that you will miss the inflection. That. can't be done. You know, it's just if you wanted kind of a foolproof way of doing it, and the way I think they're actually playing it, upstroke, string crosses. So up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. That kind of gets you locked in. It keeps you in the same spot that you need to be every single time, as long as your timing's right and you're feeling cool about them. They're triplets. So technically it's sextuplets as well. So let's start this on an upstroke. That's F sharp, G, A, E. E, D, C sharp, and B. Much harder to do that if you start this with a downstroke. It's not that you can't do it, it's just that it's harder to do it. So at any rate, yes, F sharp, G. We're essentially taking this, and instead of playing it, we're just kind of playing it a fifth, as if this was the fifth, and moving that to B. So that's... And that's pretty much that. Okay, so at the end, of course, there's the out of every other one, and that's F sharp, D, E, C sharp. The next one, of course. Right. And so at the very last bit, there is a... And so off to the bridge riff. So that's actually kind of easy. In fact, I think it's about the easiest riff on both your left hand and your right hand here. And I'll show you two different ways of playing it, but just keep in mind that if you play it one way, it's easier, and if you play it the other way, well, it's a little harder just because you got to move around a little faster. But so A, that's one way, or is the way I choose to play it. To C, to B, D, C, E. We're just going up in every other note for A minor. Same way of playing, or it's the same notes, just, you know, the way you're playing it will change the difficulty level. So if I was here, or that's much more, you know, that's a grander movement, and it requires you to do that very quickly and, you know, be on target when you land it. Better to do it here. And I think that's the way they play it as well. So here, C, B, A, 3, 2, 0. F, power chord again, E. The second time they do that, it's F to G. So essentially, you know the whole thing now. Mute that. Next one. So the next portion of the bridge, I guess bridge version 2, is this cute little... right back to the triplets, right? So So again, it'll give you two different ways of playing that. Either way, the only thing that really matters is your triplets dash sextuplets, and your timing. Just make sure that everything is played, either with a 6 or a 3 involved. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, and so forth. But with 6s. 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 this on a downstroke. So, what is this? E flat minor. Go up a sharp 5, or a flat 6, either way you want to put it, because it is a flat 6 technically, if it's minor. Less than Aeolian minor. Or Phrygian minor. Either way, flat 6. We'll say flat 6. And then down to the 4, up to the 5, down to the minor 3, back home. But it's not back home. So this is a transposition. Technically, yes, this is a related thing, and if we're, it's harmonic minor that way, but we actually move the whole shape. So that kind of takes away that harmonic minorness in a way. It's just a transposition. Now we're in D minor. And that, technically, we could even be in D Phrygian, which is a minor scale. It's just a really neat way of massaging notes, bending them to your will in order to get the kind of atmosphere that you want out of the thing. You want subtle and creepy. Transpose. Subtle and creepy. But it's again the triplets that rule the day here. Now we're back to B. So here we are for the chorus. Chorus is in B. And instead of going up to the flat 6, like here, we're just going straight to the 5. Remember the that's what we're doing here. Two guitars doing two different things. So the first guitar just holds chords, right? Second guitar and that's that. So, what are the notes? B, F sharp, D, E, C sharp, B flat, F, C sharp, E flat, C. Or, if we're doing fret numbers, 9, 10 on the lower string, 7, 9, 8, that would be, 6, to 8, 9, 6, 8, yeah. And that's it. A couple of different ways you can play that, just like with the bridge, which I didn't cover. There's as I was saying, there's a couple of different ways you can play this. So with verse 2, the other way you can play it is this. I mean, there's more than that. You can figure out all sorts of different ways to make it difficult on you if you wanted to. So, you know, if you wanted to make it nuts, you can make it nuts. But this may actually be easier for you if your picking hand isn't really up to snuff doing the triplet string transitions. So, and all that, it's the same notes, it's just, you know, 5 frets down on the next up adjacent string. So this would be 6, 9, 6, and that would be an 8, and that would be a 4. Then, of course, down. Dang. So I guess that puts us into the solo riffs, or the riffs in the solos, because everything else for the rest of this tune is the same. So here we go. So after that, when you start going into the leads, there is another one of these. You'll be playing those, you know, periodically, salt and pepper throughout the song. But once you get past, instead of doing that or going right to there, we're now going to G sharp, and it's G sharp minor, so it's kind of an unusual non-native key for most guitar players, but with perseverance we'll understand that this ain't going to be crap. We're going to be fine. So which really reminds me of Into the Convent. I think it's the same riff essentially as Into the Convent. So, you know, I'm pretty sure it's exactly the same. But so that's what we're doing here, though, and we're doing it in kind of a gallop. And you'll also kind of get the notion that this is related somewhat to, what is that? Black Sabbath's Children of the Grave, which is kind of a... And because this is technically there, it rhymes. Let's just say it rhymes. So the other way you can play that is to go up to here. Either way is G sharp, B, G. So that could be a 2 power chord, 3 power chord. Right back to there. E. You're not playing the whole. That sounds kind of neat, but that's not it. So just doing 2-2 held down together. That would be a B and an E. That affects an E power chord without the low E portion to E flat, because this it's a little too high for what I'm hearing him actually do. So it's now we're in C sharp, but we're not galloping as such. You know, that we're not quite doing that. We're doing 1, 2, 4, 6, just sextuplets straight through. Or if you wanted to say triplets, that's fine too. You 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and so forth. Instead of going down to the natural 7, we're going to go to the 2 instead. So go up a minor third to your E, and then E flat to C sharp again. So and that would be A, D sharp. So to F sharp. So you see, we're just kind of going back and forth between these two things, and we're kind of going in a circle of fourths. So you're going, technically it's a fifth down, but it's a fourth up, so that's where we're going from there. So it's essentially the progress that we're making. And the next one is E flat, so it actually goes down just essentially there. So it goes down a minor third, but hear us out. So now we're in F sharp again. A, you can go up here if you want, then F. And that should look really familiar, right? So that's where we're at, and that's how that would fit. D and C sharp. Right, so, or include that if you want. Which is kind of nifty, but so there's a really strong pull from the flat 5 to the 1 to the new 1, transposing again from E flat to E. It's pretty nifty when we go into the never should have gone part. But so this is pretty much the same as this part here. So it's here. But power chords. All right. Last riff in the song that we get to learn. Never should have gone to the LOA house. All right, so this is kind of the chorus. Never should have gone to the LOA house. It's the canon, the round that's found after the lead and after the second lead too. So this part is played differently by the two different guitar players. I don't know who plays what, by the way, on this specifically, with the exception of the leads, because that's illustrated in the booklet. So you know who plays what, but you don't know who plays what on the rhythms. Why? Because I've never seen any footage of them playing this live, which makes a lot of this really, really difficult for me. So really difficult meaning like, am I playing this exactly right? I mean, it sounds right, but is that the way they did it? It's just a trick, by the way. Figure it out and then go see if you're right. And if you're wrong, well, you can learn from that. But and then you can be right. It's great. But anyway, so for the never should have gone to the LOA house. You've basically you're going from E to big old E, open 7 9 9, big old. You can hit these two open strings too if you want. But one guitar player is doing this. The other guitar player, I believe. You're going to hear an open G when they do that. And there's no sliding. I mean, I heard back in the day that because there's kind of a pull, and it sounds cool. You can do that if you want. They're not doing that. So this C, B, or 8, 7, 3, 2, it depends on the string that you're on, but is what they play. G, excuse me, if you wanted to do it that way, you can, but this makes more sense to me. G, F sharp, D, C, B. Just play it as fast as they actually play it. The harmony part to that is a third up. D, G, A, F sharp, which is a great little harmony. Essentially, you're playing... Yeah, that's it. Wouldn't recommend doing it that way, but you can do it that way if you wanted to. Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of quick. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. That would be an undue hardship. But I would juxtapose in between. That kind of thing. If I was the only guitar player playing this stuff, you know, you got a bass player, have them kind of play around with some stuff. But you know, that's the fun part. If you're just playing along, you get to choose. You know, I want to play this time, or I want to play that time. Have fun with it. Enjoy. But if you get too comfortable with it, and then you get in a band environment, well, pick the part and play the part that you pick. You know? Anyway, so this, I leave that G open when I do the higher harmony. Because this doesn't sound right, but that note is in there. So I just leave that ringing. Then we're right back into the main verse riff. There is another solo though, and for that one we're in the key of B. So this is the last lead riff, and here we go. You can do it here if you wanted to. I think this is proper, and I'll show you why in a minute. So basically it's this, and we are in B minor. That's B, C sharp, D, C sharp, B, A, B, C sharp, B, 7, 9, 10, 9, 7, 5, 7, 9, 7. So all power chord. Except for the last time, it does this. That's why playing it here is better instead of here. Less movement. And like Joe Pass used to always say, who is a jazz guy, but good to learn from, even if you're not into that sort of thing, is why would you want to overcomplicate it and make it harder on yourself? You know, this is better. And so forth. Well, that essentially wraps up all of the riffs in the LOA house. Without any further ado, let's get to the leads. Okay, so for the leads. Now, in the booklet, it tells you pretty clearly that the leads kind of are traded off. It's Andy, Herb, Andy, Herb. To be honest with you, one of the reasons why I like this duo so much in the King Diamond roster is the fact that you kind of can't tell them apart, at least by this point in Herb's history with the band. he's playing a lot like Andy. So in a way, it's like listening to Andy just play for leads, and he was very chameleon-like that, and you could hear him change as he progressed through while he was graveyard and all that kind of stuff. You can hear him as he changed throughout. It's pretty neat. But so this starts out with a bunch of squealy little harmonics, especially while the type of thing is going on there. So a couple of different ways of doing it. I believe it's all 17th fret harmonics, and just holding on to that, and on the B string as well. And I have a pretty strong noise gate on, but you still get the idea, and those are just kind of hanging out there. You can do it here, just as long as you have some on the 3rd fret, just as long as you can pull it up a little bit. But there is a difference in notes, though. Like, that's a G, and that's an F, so, you have to pull it up to that. But it's pretty close to an E. But aside from the noises that start the whole thing, we've got some licks to play. And just as you would expect from such a dynamic duo, there's a lot of them in here that aren't easy. Some of them are easier than others, and one is darn near impossible if you play it like it sounds like it's played when you slow it down. So we'll get to all that. Here is lick number 1, G sharp arpeggio. That's as far up as you go. Another way of playing it, or, which is the way I thought it was played originally, but when you listen to it slowly, it's much smoother than that. There's no defined triplet. It's not like what you would hear in the beginning of Andy's solo in Overactive Imagination. This is swept. And I believe he's doing it there. So, that would be 16, 19, 18, 18, 16, 16. We're going all the way up to an E flat. The 5th in the 2nd octave, jumping up to the 23rd fret. Oh yes. If you don't have a 24 fret guitar when you're playing this, you're kind of out of luck. I wish you the best of luck in trying to keep up, because there are licks played above the 22nd fret here, and it would be very hard to get it through creative bending. You'll pretty much just have to have a 24 fret guitar. So if you don't, I'm very sorry about this, but I'm not going to cover it in a different way. You can take what I play and play it an octave lower. It's not going to sound the same, but it'll be the same notes. This is the very next thing you do. Jump right up to the 23rd fret, and you're going to be playing down, and well, it's still in F sharp minor, excuse me, arpeggio shape. And instead of going back up directly, you're going to go down 1 fret there and start the next arpeggio. So that's 18, 21, 19, 18 again. Right there. It'd be like doing that. So that's 19, 16, 17, 16 to 18. And just hold on to that for a little while. So what do we have? Shake it a little bit. Have a nice wide vibrato type of thing going there. Very, very good to mind your vibrato here. We are trying to play an Andy LaRocque solo and or Herb Simonson solo. Either way, they have great vibrato. Try to emulate the vibrato. If what you're playing, and you listen to you, if what you're playing doesn't sound like what you're hearing off the record, stop and try to figure out how they're doing what it is that you're hearing them do, and how to change, and try to figure out how to change what you're doing to make it sound like that. So instead of like a, no, that's not it. It's kind of a nice rhythmic, wide vibrato. That's, it's better. Do that. Again. Next lick in the solo is straight C sharp minor. That's essentially where we're going with this. Going up to the fifth, a little bit higher up, 2 octaves in. But you're doubling it up here. Now, that last little bit, I never really bothered to learn exactly what they're doing, but I'm pretty sure I'm pretty close. So check this out. After that, so pretty much covers it. Something like that. This is also harmonized, a major third up. So E flat to E. Kind of sounds like a bend that Vito Bratta would do. But so there's this. And so you could choose where it is that you do that. But he just did this. And layered harmonies on top, which is why the jump can happen so easily. But anyway, that's pretty much that. The next lick, I used to hear a whole bunch of different ways, and honestly, I've seen some covers, and they're not playing what you hear when you slow this thing down, what it is that they're actually playing. I used to hear this a whole bunch of different ways too, so it doesn't make me feel bad, you know, that I'm making a correction here for literally everybody else. But this is all that they're doing. They're not doing the, you know, there's there's none of that. Nothing like that is happening there. It's just 2 notes. And that's the blue note in. If you play the blues scale, what is that? Or minor pentatonic on C sharp with a flat 5. That kind of thing. This is the flat 5. That's where you're doing here. 5 to flat 5. But there's a separation in the notes to E, which is the minor third in that minor pentatonic. And that's 2 downstrokes on that. I do try to go outside string here, so it's up pick, down pick. It's what sounds right to my ears. And I am separating my fingers here to separate the notes more clearly. Okay, so the next lick is an impossible lick. At least it is for me. I've been playing for a long time, and I can play a whole lot of different stuff. Yeah, I'm comfortable with my playing. I'm happy with it. But this lick, as it really is played, probably stumped me, because it has to be played by somebody who is incredibly, incredibly fluent at blues phrasing, and I am not. So the way I played it in the cover is not the way that I think that it was actually played. I'm going to teach you both ways, but this last lick, man, it's a doozy. So slowed down, there is bending taking place in certain places. Sped up, it's a little less intelligible, but you can still kind of perceive that it's there. But because it's, it is played at the speed that it is, like I was saying, to me, doing it the correct way is next to impossible, at least at my current level. And I'm not saying don't try it. If you're young, start now. By the time you're my age, you'll have this down, no problem. In fact, you'll probably have it down much more quickly than me anyway, because, me being in my 50s, you being maybe much younger than that, will give you much easier time, a much easier time, actually solidifying these kind of muscle memory motions. So the lick is as follows, starting on, and it's all the way up. We're doing 24th fret stuff here. That's the lick. So played up to speed. I can't do that. I just can't. But that's where the bends are. That's where I'll be damned. I am sure that's what he's playing. But here. For the sake of argument, this note is barely there. It's like he's sweeping back up and almost hit that on accident. Let's play it down here. Essentially, it's that minor pentatonic again. You got a 7 there. 6 really good. That's it. So the way you can kind of fake that is take away some of the bending and shifting. So that's about as quickly as I can do it, and he plays it just a little faster than that. And I'm not there yet. This is the way I played it. That's about as close as I can get. So, but you notice that's not the same. You're not hearing the bend. It's just not there. But that's the way it's properly played. So what do we have there? It's 24 to 23 to 21, 24, 21, or B, C sharp. Shift down, bend from the B flat, and it's a unison bend. Not quite the same. It's not quite the same as unison bend. Unison, but you're bending to the note and then hitting the actual note up here on fret 19. Just like that. And it's only one bend. Then pull off to the next note on 21 from 23. Then, just like Chuck Berry, here. Not a whole lot of room for fingers, so works for me. That's bending from 23 to an effectively 25. And that's 21 again. So like this. A couple of nice kind of unison type of bends there. But the separation is key. Then bending from the 24th to the 26th fret. So an E to an F sharp. I believe that's harmonized right there. All right, so now we're on to somebody else. Probably her. So here we go. The next lick is, and we're now in F sharp minor, by the way. Now being in F sharp minor, the next lick, that, We're just outlining the shape of an F sharp minor scale, a minor pentatonic scale. But it's slid. It's not just. That's too clean. It's not that way. There's some movement going on in there. You can kind of hear some extra stuff. Slide it. Take a finger. Not the same. So, pick a finger, make it work. After that, it's 14 to 17, 14 to 17, 14 to 16, 14 to 16, going down the strings. After that, we have this nice jump from an E to an F sharp. That's right about there. If you have a humbucker here, you're going up about an octave by picking that note. But that is also an octave up. That's it. So it's a harmonic. And you got to hit the right one. So, like so. And once you do that, then you're going to proceed up directly, just like you did down here. But instead of doing it in that kind of a triplety kind of a fashion, you're just going to proceed straight up. Like so. This is the next lick, by the way. And so that's going to be harmonized as well, but just a little bit of it is. So proceeding up this E Aeolian scale, that's, F sharp Aeolian scale, my bad. That's a 1 to 2, a flat 3, a 4, a 5, a flat 6, a flat 7, octave. Proceed continually upwards. Right back to the third, to the second. Okay. 14. That's 16. To 13 here. Next string down, 16, 14, 16, to 13, next string up. And that's 14 on the A string, or 16 on the A string. It's also a fifth of F sharp. So when we're doing the harmony here, so the harmony part to that starts out the first three strings the same, then you jump up to this nice 18, 19, 21 here. So it's hanging out on 18, 18, hammer on and pull off of 19, down to 16. So we're 1/3 higher scalarly. Yeah, there we go. That would be a major shape with an extra in there. So that's that. The next trade-off begins with a type of thing. Now, to get that right, because now we're in E flat, we're going to have to do a little bit of extra work on the vibrato arm. Now, if you don't have those, I suppose a would work out all right, but, this is essentially what he's doing, and that's 5th fret harmonic, open, here, and here, picked at the same time, and then you pull back up this way, and you get this nice sound, almost like an elephant. Then it's these two, G and B, wank around a lot on that. Pretty easy stuff. The next lick is relatively simple. It's very Randy Rhoads-like. And if you're wondering, this is essentially G sharp or F sharp major and or E flat minor. It's not a normal key that guitarists would play in, but you think about it this way: if it's just E minor, move everything down 1 fret, it's the same. So instead of here, nope, here. That's where we would play that. So this is and basically 16 to 18. Never mind. Let's try that again. From 16 to 18. Next string down, that would be a 19. Back up to 16. And just proceeding down that scale shape. And that's all 16 and 18. And then you move down just a little bit, and now you're at 15 and 16. And that's 18 again. And then resting on 15. And there's a very, very small hint of a hammer-on pull-off right there. But this part is simply 13 slid up. So it's B flat slid up to B flat. And that would be on the 20th fret, yes. Hammer and pull off of 16. Now it's a straight E flat with a little blues note thrown in, E flat pentatonic minor. So 11, 14, 14, 13. Then proceed straight up an E flat Aeolian, because that seems to be the rule of the day. We're either going up here, or here, or here now. And that's the cool part. Straight up, slide straight up, but really quickly to your E note up here, and then where the never should have gone part, and that basically ends the first solo. Give it a lot of beans. Beans are important.
Keeps biting my pants.
Keytans. Last lead. You can either play it fret 4 on the G string or fret 9 on the D string, whatever sounds right to you. There is kind of a mid-focused tone. It's very likely that it is on the D string. Mind your vibrato in this. Again, I cannot underscore enough the importance of the good, chewy, juicy vibrato that you must have when you effect these things. So you're basically just going up. You're basically going up a fifth, but you're doing it. Like so, okay? Four, 6, 7, 7, 9, 11, 9. And that's 7, 6, 4. So B, C sharp, D, G, E, F sharp, E, D, C sharp, B. That's it. There is a harmony that's perceivable in it. Either way, you don't really hear it. It's just kind of there somewhere in the subtext. The next lick in this is Cliche Andy. Very nice. Once again, because I think he meant to do this, but it became that, and that's fine, so. And you could sweep this completely. I tend to not sweep until the end. I pick it, that's a personal thing. Right? So this is simply starting on the 7th of a B minor arpeggio. It's 17, 14, 15, 16. Right back up to the B here. 18. So that's 19. This is 18. And this is all the same. You're just trading off 17, 19, 18, 19. And then down the rest of the way, which would be 16, 17, 14. And that's bending back up to here and down again from the 12th fret. Use your ears. So the last lick is, once again, one of those things that you would find like in Them, which is a little bit buried in the mix, and as a result of that is a little hard to determine exactly what notes are played, but it's kind of just flailing about, picking very quickly in B minor shapes. I believe it starts this way. And then once we're up to there, that, starting 11th fret, 12, 14, 11, 12, 14, play twice. 12, 14, 15, 12, 14, 15 again. So, but no 15. You're not going to actually go up that high. 14. And that's it. So, 12, 14, 15, 12, 14. Nope. Right? And that's bending from the 17th to the 19th. Or an A to a B. Anyway, that's it. If you have any questions, post them below. If you appreciate this comment, you can like and subscribe. That'd be nice. If you wanted to leave a tip, well, I'm pretty sure that there's some sort of Patreon information somewhere. But I definitely appreciate you coming by. I do hope that this was helpful to you, and I hope that in no time you'll be playing this far better than I possibly can. So take care of yourself out there, and in the meantime, play faster. Ciao.